I'm Bobby.
I'm Jerry.
And this is our very first attempt at a video podcast.
Yeah.
I run a swing blog called Swungover.com, which is kind of a whole bunch of swing articles and research.
And I also do a blog called Wandering and Pondering, which is a little bit more about, which is also articles with more personal thoughts about what's happening in the Lindy scene, both nationally in the U.S. and abroad, as much as possible that you can leave on the internet.
Yeah, we both live in D.C. and we figured that we're such big fans of each other, we would give this a shot.
We like talking about dancing a lot, writing and talking about dancing. So we figured we'd just invite all of you guys into a little conversation. This is our first time, so this may be a little rough.
Probably.
But if it goes well, we might do it again.
Yeah.
And get a little bit more practice into this.
I'm still drenched in sweat from the Lonestar contest that came this afternoon. We're at Lonestar, by the way, in Austin, Texas. And this is, we realized that this is the very first event that we've been able to just attend in forever.
Yeah. Thing that I have, this is also the furthest west I've ever been for an event. I don't travel very much. I used to travel a lot when I first started. I started over 10 years ago, let's just say. And like everyone else, you travel, you get really excited, you go around. But then as time goes by, you have more and more responsibilities, both inside the community and outside of it. And it's just a matter of prioritizing things. And then, so for me, I kind of cut out a lot of my travel. And the only events that I've been to since about 2004, events that I've worked as a DJ or somewhere in an event organization.
Yeah, and as a swing dance instructor, almost all the events that I attend are somehow involved with work. And but Tina invited us out here to just come and enjoy the event, and it was fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, it's kind of like the after party to the incredible event Lindy Focus. Was the way I heard it described to me the first time, and it is. It's really nice. It's like a small, very community-oriented feel to it. There's lots of contests, but I don't feel there's like that I will cut you kind of spirit to the contest.
Generally, I've never felt like that element's been in contests in our community. Which I think is a good thing.
Definitely.
But also, I don't know about you, but I know a couple other people. We are coming out of Lindy Focus, and we were just talking about like when is the next time we're going to see each other. Well, there's Lonestar, and I think it's great when events can build on each other like that.
Yeah,
and kind of build a little bit more connections, just across borders. We got a bunch of Koreans here.
Yeah.
Still, they were here at Lindy Focus as well.
Yeah.
It's always been fun to see them go out and compete.
I've seen a fantastic amount of new dancers coming up, and the Austin scene has really been welcoming to everybody. It's been really impressive.
Yeah, they're very supportive. Yeah, we were watching, all the Jack and Jill finals just happened. We just came out, it's Sunday evening, and we saw just a lot, at least I saw a lot of really enthusiastic and really a lot of talented dancing that would have blown away anything that even some of the most advanced divisions did like 10 years ago. So,
yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see.
They also have this is one of those events that has their own drink. They have a drink called the Champion, which was put together by the Champion Sip, which was put together by Brooks, who lives here, and he loves making stuff. And so they bring out gallons of this every night. Gallons, like cooler after cooler after cooler.
Yeah, I think and it's part of the more social part of the event. We were talking earlier about how typically events are either workshops, there are the competitions, or they're exchanges, which are more social, or primarily. They might have like little elements mixed in, but it feels very much so that here at Lonestar that the line between the contest and the social dancing is blurred in a very good way, not in the sense that social dancing is very competitive, but in the sense that the competitions are very social.
Yeah, yeah. One of the great things that's been for me at this event is I've met a lot of people. I've stayed with a great host, and I have 2 roommates who I thought are awesome, and we're actually going to interview them in just a second. So we'll be right here with that interview. All right, so I'm here with 2 incredibly talented up-and-coming dancers, Jamin and Joseph. So first off, where are you guys from?
Well, Joseph, I'm Jamin. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I'm Joseph Bojang. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma as well.
So what is your background in dancing?
I guess I'll go first since he's given us the look. I started out in break dancing, and I know there's the idea of hip hop and break dancing, but I was strictly just a break dancer, so I didn't do much studio dancing. So I did that for several years, and then I had a few friends that did swing dancing. At that time, everyone was doing East Coast, so not until recently did I start doing Lindy Hop. So it's been a good transition.
Well, my background is similar to Joe's, but I was kind of on the other side of the dichotomy of hip hop, where more of the studio dancer, and I would work with different dance choreographers and stage productions. I did a lot of musical theater and tap, and just very busy. It's about 20 years worth of dancing within that realm of dance.
So when I talked to you guys, you not only showed, yes, I'm interested in Lindy Hop, you showed like something speaks to my soul about Lindy Hop. And I kind of want like, so what about Lindy Hop grabbed you? And yeah.
I know for me, just the learning more about the history of it and knowing that being a street dancer myself, knowing that it originally started that way, and the idea was inspiration and feeding back and forth with your partner and with the band. And as a break dancer, that's what you do with the DJ. You know, the DJ's up on the 1s and 2s, as we call it, and he's given us something, and we're trying to interpret that the best we could. And I think swing dancing is that with a partner, and I think it's just a different era of it. So I like the connection from there.
Oh, that's good. Well, similar to Joe, for me, I was kind of burned out. Like after dancing for so many years and being on the stage, and the audience felt so distant. You know, I was the choreographer, so it was great to work with many talented dancers, and the audience never experienced what we experienced behind the closed doors. And so by the time we would perform numbers, you were just kind of burned out. It was stale, and you know, people would compliment you, but you just kind of wish you could give more, you know, where you were creatively at that moment. And so I was invited to come to an event, and you know, I kind of saw it for what it was. And for me, you know, the style of dancing that we're in is very visual, and you see a lot of angles, and your eyes are attracted to different shapes. And so the shapes in Lindy Hop I saw were very simple. You know, I didn't really understand it much, but I was invited to dance by Laura Glace, and she asked me to dance, and I felt her movement. I was like, what is this? This was a whole other thing, and it was a very kinesthetic type feel, and it just kind of opened up a whole other realm for me creatively.
Nice. So coming from your both experience in other dance forms, what's weird, or what kind of stuff did you think what kind of stuff surprised you about learning Lindy Hop?
For me, it's you know, in break it's the 2 and the 4, and you're hitting the beats and you're hitting them hard. So I was talking, it's Nathan, I was telling him my struggle is that a lot of things in swing I see are sometimes on the 5 or the 7, but I want to stop on the 8. So he's saying, you know, if you stop on the 8, you're like flirting with the 7. So that's difficult for me, is that one type of dance that I do is almost in a totally different beat. So trying to transition that over, it's been difficult, but I'm learning, and it's fun.
For me, it was less on the rhythm aspect, but more on the shape aspect of how do I work creative ideas with another body. Not just with the body, but while the body's moving. There was no definite move, you know, and being from that background, we're always looking at the quality of that moment that's captured on beat. And for this being a more kinesthetic dance, it was challenging at first. I realized I could take a lot more time that I thought I didn't have, you know, dancing with another partner.
Nice. So, one last thing. What are you going to take home with you from this weekend here at Lonestar? Did you have anything to inspire you when you go home?
Well, for me, I always look at this dance as it's a life skill. And I think the secondary benefit is I'm dancing. And I love learning, and I love approaching everything like a kid. And you know, every time I go to an event, I learn something in the class, and I expect to learn something. So, you know, for me, I'm going to go home and practice the little thing I learned in the intermediate class and gain some inspiration from that and grow. So.
Yeah. I think for me, mine is more not so much the technical part, but actually just taking care of your body. Got a knee injury this weekend, so so I think for me, just learning how to, you know, eat right and take care of your body. And also I like to play around, but I guess that does bring the technique as far as making sure that I'm not getting too crazy when I do things. So.
Please tell me that, like, 2 years ago you were doing windmills all over the place, and this weekend you did like a rock step. It was like, oh.
That's how it happened, actually, on my rock step. So, I'm kidding, none of
Face.
So I asked this question to Jamin because I had it myself, but you might at home, viewers, but I asked him if he had that stylish, classic look before he did Lindy Hop.
You know, it's funny, I did. About 10 years ago, I used to do a lot of musical theater stuff, and we were into a lot of jazz dancing, and I just liked it. I think my uncle kind of had that same look, and I always thought, man, I want my hair to look like that. And ever since a kid, I just kind of, every once in a while, dress like an old person, and I'd wear my hair like this. You know, I was 12, 13 years old, and you know, by the time I was 18, I thought, oh, that's not cool anymore. I better, you know, look a little bit more grimier, but it just kind of came full circle.
Nice. Well, thank you guys so much for talking with us. It's been fantastic.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, very much appreciated.
I'm Bobby, that's Jerry, and thank you so much for watching this, and we may or may not make more, but we hope you enjoyed this one.